want to look at how do we calculate GDP in three equivalent ways. So we will start with the income approach. So we're considering an economy where we just have three companies, company A, company B, and company C. Company A produces cardboard, which is used by company B to produce boards and cards. And these boards and cards are then used by company C to produce board games. So, and then we're further given the expenses and other revenue for each of the three companies. So let's start with the income approach. So, GDP can be calculated in three equivalent ways. The first approach that you want to look at is the income approach. Now, what does the income approach say? Now, let's recall here. So, recall GDP. So, the income approach says GDP is the sum of incomes in the economy during a given period. Now, these income include so it includes wages for labor, wage or labor income. It includes economic rent on land. It includes interest payments on capital. So basically it's payments for each of the factors of production, interest payments on capital, and finally profits for enterprise or firms. Right, so this is what the income approach says. Let's apply it to this particular example. Right, so now here below is a summary. So below is a summary of the revenue. So we'll first summarize the revenue, expenses, and profits for each of the three companies in this case, right? So we're going to summarize the information that we have related to the income approach for each of the three companies first, and then we'll apply it for each of the three companies in this case. So let's summarize this. So we want to summarize this. So we start with where we have the revenue from sales. So we have this information. Then we have expenses. Now, when it comes to expenses, here we will have expenses on intermediate inputs. Then we will have wages. Like these are the only two expenses in this case, either wages or intermediate inputs. So that's the one we're writing. And then we have total expenses. And then we have profit here. And profit is revenue minus total expenses. Right, so this is how we're going to summarize the information that we have. We're going to do this for company A, company B, and company C. For company A, we're told that the revenue of its sales are basically $100. For company B, we're told its revenue is $250. For company C, we're told its revenue is $400. Now, intermediate inputs, company A uses no intermediate inputs, right? So no intermediate inputs in this case. So no intermediate inputs, right? It is not using any, so we'll just put a dash here. For company B, we know it uses the cardboard produced by company A, so that's worth $100. So its intermediate input is $100 of cardboard from company A. So yeah, so this is cardboard. And for company C, we know its intermediate inputs are purchased from company B. So company C. Company C purchases boards and cards from company B to produce board games. So its intermediate inputs are $250 worth of boards and cards from company B. Boards and cards. Right? So these are its intermediate inputs. Now wages, so information is directly given to us for company A. we're told the wages are $30. For company B, we're told they are $80. And for company C, we're told they're $90. So the total expenses for company A are just 30. For company B, they're 180. For company C, they are just 340, right? We're just adding the wages and the cost of intermediate inputs. Now we can find their profits as their revenue from sales minus their total expenses. So 100 minus 30. So if I do 100 minus 30 is equal to 70. And then similarly, you can do it for company B. It's 250 minus 180. So it's 250 minus 180 is again 70. Similarly, we can do for company C, 400 minus 340. So it's 400 minus 340 is equal to 60. Now we have all the information that we need to apply the income approach. So let me just erase this up and we can apply it over here. Right, let's just erase this and then we can apply it over here. Um, right, so let's just continue here. So now we can see from here that total wage or labor income is basically, so the total wage or labor income in the economy is $30 that from company A, $80 from company B, and $90 from company C, right? So this is the total wages or labor income in the economy. So total wages or total wage or labor income in economy is $200. And then we have total profits in the economy. So we basically for this we have just used this column. Let me just highlight this highlighter and let's just make it thick. Right, so we use this column over here, right over here for the wages information, right? We use this column over here for the wages information. Right, so the next is basically and now we're going to use this column right over here for the profits information. Right, so basically, so now basically total, let's just do this color. So total profits in the economy are basically $70 from company A, then $70 from company B, $60 from company C, and this is also $200. So total income is just the total wage or labor income plus total profit income is $400. Obviously, in this case, the incomes are only wages and profits. We did not have any economic rent in this case, and we did not have any interest payments. So we were only concerned with wages and profits in this case as incomes in the economy. So this is how we can apply the income approach to calculate GDP. It might be a good idea to first summarize the information like this because from here then we can easily compute the profits and also find out what the wage income is.